Hey everyone, so my microphone has broken, so I'm just going to do my speaking this way for today. And today's message that I'm focusing on is to believe in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, nothing is going to work out for you. All this world can come against you, but if you believe in yourself and if you hold on to that, you can achieve things, you can accomplish, you can overcome. And it's not unscriptural. It's not something that is taken out of context. If you look at the scriptures, 1 Samuel 17:32, it says, "Let no man's heart fail because of him. Your servant will go and fight with this Philistine." So people do not follow leaders who don't have confidence in themselves. If you want to be a speaker, if you want to be a pianist, if you want to do anything in life, you have to have confidence. You have to be able to interact with people. You have to be able to go into a workplace and build relationships. You have to be able to speak to people over the phone if you're in customer service, and know how to interact with them. I would encourage you to believe in yourself. I know that we are going through very difficult times and very challenging times in Canada, but part of the reason that we are going through this is because of the policies that our government has put in place. All the other G7 countries have turned around. They've started coming up. They've started getting investments. And what about us? What about Canada? So it's important to believe in ourselves, because if we believe in ourselves, yes, we can fight to stay in this country, but if things are not working out for us, we can also fight to leave. There's nothing holding us here. We're not trees. We can apply for jobs in other parts of the world. We can start over. It's not easy, because when you establish yourself, you have everything set up and you want to take that next step. You want to go from being a renter to being an owner. You want to go from taking the TTC to having your own car. So it's not easy, but if you're like me and you're earning $9,000 a year or $15,000 a year, or on a good year, maybe $35,000, there's no incentive for you to stay. So it's important to weigh your options, to look at your options, because the market in Canada is saturated. And it's not just me saying it, our politicians are saying it. That's why they don't want to continue to bring temporary foreign workers in. That's why I landed up working in a call center. Not because I was incapable of taking on executive assistant work or project coordinator work or anything at the management level, but because there was no other work available. So I had to take it and stick with that job. And yes, my health suffered, my ears got affected, I landed up getting high blood pressure. And you know, when you talk to people, like you look at what happened to the women at Harrods, gender-based violence, how managers abuse their power, how they rape these women. That rape can also be mental rape, with the way they speak to you, with the way they talk to you on the phone, with the masturbation on the calls. We all went through it in the contact center, women and men. And they're busy jerking off and going, oh my God, hold on, I'm almost done. It's disgusting. Even when I had set up on Keen.com, I had set up a phone line so people could call me, so they could get spiritual direction, or they could get a listening ear. People abuse that. So I went off it, because I'm not here to be a sex worker. I'm not here to be a prostitute. And yes, Christianity has always been under attack, but it's growing in many places of the world. It's growing in Europe, it's growing in Canada. So we have hope. We have hope, and we can be confident in that hope and in the Lord. This scripture here for today It says confidence is a characteristic of a positive attitude. The greatest achievers and leaders remain confident regardless of circumstances. Strong, confident leaders recognize and appreciate confidence in others. Confidence is not simply for show. Confidence empowers. Good leaders have the ability to instill within their people confidence in themselves. So you can either instill confidence in your team or you can drag your team down. And if you're dragging your team down, they're not going to want to achieve more than you asked for. They're not going to go above and beyond what you need. And also, we have to have motivators. If we're in dead-end jobs and you're going to get a 50-cent increase, like I did at Teleperformance, what incentive do you have to stay? And the managers themselves, the senior leaders, the HR managers, they tell you, we don't want you to stay. We just want you to be here for 1 or 2 years, and then we want you to move on. So we have to know what type of a culture the company is promoting, supporting, and what messages they're sending to us. Because if they're telling us, we don't want you to be here more than 1 or 2 years, they mean it. They're giving you a 50-cent increase or a 25%, not 25%, a 20-cent increase or a 10-cent increase for a reason. Because they don't want you to stay. It's not that they can't afford to give more, they can. They are multi-billion-dollar industries, but they're telling you, we're only giving you a 50-cent increase because we don't want you to stay. So it's important to remember that. Good leaders have the ability to instill within their people confidence in themselves. Great leaders have the ability to instill within their people confidence in themselves. And that's what we do with our friendships, with people we know. We instill confidence in them. And we help them to draw out their gifts, their talents, to look at other places, other opportunities. Because believe you me, here I tried to sell my essential oils online. I didn't get any buyers. I tried to do photos. I created beautiful photos and mugs and bags and all of that, and I put it on to Fine Arts of America. But again, the margins are so low and I didn't get any sales. So we have to look at what other options are there. Where else can we go? What else can we do? Where are the emerging markets? Where are things getting better? Because that's where people like me want to be. Yes, it may be hard to leave a beautiful home and everything you've set up, but if you're going to continue sinking into poverty, this is not where you want to be. It's not where I want to be if I'm going to continue to sink into poverty. So the John Maxwell question is, how do you show confidence? You can show confidence by talking about your education, your skills. You can talk about your accomplishments. You can talk about different things that inspire you, that help you. And for your team, you can look at where your team has done well, how they've developed, what they've changed, the good things they've brought in. All of those things inspire confidence in others, and it helps others. And the example that he gives here is a good example about Boris Yeltsin and his pro-democracy supporters, and how when the commander opened fire, they wanted to kill Yeltsin. As the army rolled into position, Yeltsin strode from the building, climbed up on the tank, looked the commander in the eye and thanked him for coming over to the side of democracy. Later, the commander admitted that although they had not intended to go over to his side, Yeltsin had appeared so confident and commanding that the soldiers decided to join him. So confidence plays a big role in our lives. And confidence is important, especially when you're dealing with teams, when you're dealing with the environment that you're in. And it doesn't matter whether you're in Canada or in England or in South Africa, that confidence helps a lot. And being a poor income earner, it takes a lot to continue to be confident, because you get criticized that, oh, look at your clothes. Why don't you go down and buy some new clothes? But you don't know that I've earned between 9,000 and 15,000 for the last 20 years. So it's easy for you to say, why don't you go down and buy some new clothes? Look at your clothes. Or maybe if I earned a little better, I could update my clothes every year like you want me to and like you expect me to. So people should also think about what they're saying to people like me, who have come into this country with nothing but the clothes on their back and have worked hard, have graduated, have gone on to achieve things, to mentor others, to help newcomers integrate, because it's important. It's important for our lives and for our future. And also the 2030 agenda. If that's your vision, if you want to just rent and not own, and I watched a talk today on Redacted where they're saying it's going to be a case where, like how the Indians live, because what they do in Canada here, they'll rent out a home, and what they'll have is they'll have one lot of people sleeping in that home during the day, and then they'll go out to work in the night, and the next lot will come in and sleep in that home. Because things are so hard and so expensive that people can't afford to do anything else. And if that's what you want and that's what you support, I don't support that, because I believe in home ownership. I believe in owning. I believe in coming up in life. I don't believe in having overlords and everybody else being peasants, everybody else taking handouts from the government, everybody else being beggars. And that's literally what I've been turned into. I've been turned into a beggar, because every job I held, they said, oh yeah, you did a good job, but we don't have anything for you. Thanks, you did a good job, but the contract's coming to an end. Thanks, we did a good job, but we only needed you for 2 weeks. So I don't buy into that. That's not what I want for my life. That's why I'm also exploring opportunities outside of Canada, because it's already happening here. And there are some people who are happy with that. They're happy to rent and not own. They're happy not to travel. They're happy not to have cars. They're happy not to have properties. I am not happy with that. So I don't buy into the World Economic Forum vision. That's not the vision I want for my life. I don't buy into the vision that, well, we should all be prostitutes and just do it. No, I don't buy into that, because my values are based on the Bible. My values are based on good values. And there are big protests taking place in South Africa against gender-based violence. There are big protests. Women are standing up for it, particularly in the global South. And even women that are saying, oh, we're opting for abortion, it's the future, it's the right way. Well, they were talking about that on Redacted, on how painful it is, how it destroys a woman's body and what it does to a woman. So before you buy into the popular culture that this is women's freedom, think about it. Talk to women who have had abortions. Ask them, did they go home and have a glass of wine and celebrate? Because it's important to be able to think things through, and to be able to think things through critically, not just to accept everything that everybody is saying, because that's not what life is about. That's not what life is about. And if I wasn't confident, if I wasn't a good person, people wouldn't have approached me. I didn't go and offer to help the One campaign. They came to me. Suzanne Granville came to me, and she said, we've selected you. We would like you to be a parliamentary riding leader. Can you help us? I said to her, yes, I can, Suzanne, but I don't have anything. I've lost my property. I don't have anything to my name, and I don't have a job. I can't even afford to pay for the flight to come to Montreal. So between then and now, nothing's changed for me. So why should I stay in Canada? because I'm in the exact same situation as when I started with them as a volunteer, and in the church and in all these other places I help, with Roger Federer, with Nadal, with Andy Murray, with my love of Elvis. Yeah, people might say, oh, you act like you know them, like they even know you exist. Well, you know what? They do. And maybe Elvis is not alive, but I got to know him through his music, through the films I've seen, through what I've seen online, through joining in the vigil every year for his death anniversary, for his birthday. So you can judge me all you like, but you haven't been in my shoes, because you've probably had brothers and sisters to help you put money together to buy your property, to go to America, to train, to study. I didn't have any of that. All I had was my faith. So if you don't see me as confident, that's on you. It's not on me. Because my level of confidence is what God has given me for my life. And this is my confidence. And if it doesn't meet your standards as being confident, that's fine with me. God gave me the gifts and talents He wants me to have. He's given me the strengths and weaknesses He wants me to have. And that's where I am. I put my faith in the Lord. And I pray every day, Lord, open that right opportunity for me, where I can let my confidence shine, where I can bring glory to you, and take me to the right place. And if it's not Canada, so be it. That's what I say. Because I didn't come to this country, reunite my family, work hard, study hard, do everything right, to be taken to the police station and summoned like a common criminal for standing up to harassment, and standing up for women's rights, and standing up for what I want in my life. And many people are pushing back against the World Economic Forum's agenda, and rightly so, because we do not want to rent, we want to own. And that's what will bring us the happiness. We want something of our own. All these singers, Jimmy Cliff and all of them, you think they stood up with their music and their acting and everything so we could all land up paupers and have all our human rights taken away from us? They didn't. They stood up for the exact opposite of what the worldwide government is implementing today. And that's why I will use my voice and I will push back, because I did not get the opportunities others had to earn well, to keep my property, and to do what I need to do. When you have a job, everything else can fall into place. And it has to be a decent paid job, not a job where you land up earning $9,000 a year or $15,000 a year. It's an awful way to live. Very, very sad. So be confident and believe in yourself. God will do the rest.